Ignorance is, I can't even speak this morning. Ignorance is bliss. Let's talk about ignorance is bliss and how you can use this well ingrained idiom and expression, and actually part of humanity nowadays because it's been around so long, to supersize and grow your business. You know, the expression ignorance is bliss, of course, means sometimes it's better not to know. Sometimes bad news, it can wait. Other times, not so much. But ignorance is bliss. This expression has been around since 400 AD. Sophocles actually used it originally, at least it's traced back to that far. And then the Dutch scholar Aramis, 1900 years later, used it in some shape or form. And Thomas Gray, the British poet in the 1700s, said, ignorance is bliss, it's folly to be wise, or 'tis folly to be wise. And ever since then, that expression has been well ingrained and believed by lots of humanity, lots of human beings. And again, whenever any expression or idiom has been that ingrained in our society, it's bound to have an impact not only on our customers and the people we interact with and our vendors and everyone else, but also on us. How often, and I will admit, I sometimes choose ignorance and think that it's better to not know things. In the 1980s, I went to a training program called, I think it was Tice Training, it was called, by Louis Tice. And they challenged us for a week. It was a week-long training. Part of it challenged us to not watch the news for a week. Now, this was back before the internet, of course. So, they said, turn off your TV, don't watch any news for a week. Turn off your radios, and let's see what happens. Let's see how you feel at the end of the week. Well, at the end of the week, I felt dramatically better than watching the news every single day and listening to the radio and the news. Usually there was news and ads and things on the radio every day on the way to work. So I just quit doing it. I quit watching the news. I started living my life, and that was a lot more fun and a lot more engaging and a lot more entertaining back then than it still is, but back then especially, than watching the news and feeding myself that negativity. Because even back in the 80s, news was predominantly negative. It was all the bad, terrible things that were happening in the world. And maybe once a day or every other day, you would see a spicy, positive story that was being shared. But for the most part, it was all negative. And that's part of why in the training they challenged us to stop watching the news, because in some instances, ignorance is bliss. Ignorance does make us feel better. Not feeding our brains and our minds a whole lot of negative stuff generally makes us feel better. So sometimes I choose ignorance, and I sometimes would recommend that you choose ignorance as well. Now, other times when it comes to running our business and growing our business, we don't want to be ignorant about a lot of things. We definitely don't want to be ignorant about our customers' expectations and meeting their needs and knowing what they're thinking and how they're feeling about us. We don't want to be ignorant about our reputation nowadays. This is something we never had to think about before, but our social media reputation. Bad reviews can shut you down faster than any government program or regulatory agency. Being ignorant of the law, being ignorant of regulatory agencies, speaking of regulatory agencies, not following, standard operating procedures, not following good, safe manufacturing practices or good business practices. If you're ignorant of those, it doesn't matter. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. It's not a defense. Ignorance of not knowing what your customers want, not serving them better than the competition, not knowing what the competition is doing, not knowing what's going on in the environment or in the economy or in the atmosphere that impacts your business can put you out of business. So in those instances, it is not good to be ignorant. Now, we can flip that around and know that there are things that our customers, the people that we serve, do not know about our industry, about our business. And some of those things they don't need to know. But other things people don't know, they need to know to be successful or to get the results they want. It's our job to be making sure that they get what they need and everything they need, whether they ask for it or not. Because, again, people don't know what they don't know. We don't know what we don't know. We don't know to ask for certain things when it comes to a product or service or solving a problem. If we knew how to solve the problem on our own, that our businesses solve for people, if our customers knew how to solve it, they wouldn't need us. So we can use the fact that they don't know everything to educate them and to help them and to form a better relationship with them. in that case, we can use ignorance or not knowing to our benefit. So what do you think about this? Ignorance is bliss. Do you think that some things it's better just to not know? Or I actually like ignorance when it comes to the whole fear of missing out things, the FOMO things, because there's so many opportunities and so much information and so many things out there. We cannot possibly know and understand and spend our time, our most valuable resource, on all of them. So when I hear about an event and I think, oh, I wish I would have gone to that, I actually am glad I didn't know about it and I was ignorant of it ahead of time. Otherwise, I'd want to go to everything. I'd want to participate in everything. And that is not humanly possible. So in that case, ignorance is bliss. Ignorance can work in our favor sometimes. So that's it. Go out, make it an awesome day. Go ahead, comment below what you think about ignorance and how you can use ignorance, and then I guess to grow your business. How do you use it? How have you used it? How will you continue to use it? I use it in my storytelling because I like to share the lessons that I've learned, and I've been so ignorant in some business situations and some life situations, and turned a blind eye or procrastinated when I shouldn't, or put off decisions, or didn't pay attention to the competition or the environment, or most importantly, what my customers wanted and really what they needed, but they didn't even know to ask for. That is one of the biggest areas that I've had to learn and grow in, knowing that it's always about serving other people to grow and build our businesses. So that's it. Go out, make it an awesome day. I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.